Animate's first speech was actually targeted at me. I'm feeling nervous. And that's the fact. Okay, so I'm actually today decided to take this part of the podium, right, not that part. I'm going to run you through in the next 15 minutes a travelogue of 5 short stories. If I'm, these are not 5 independent stories, so even if you miss one of them, don't worry about it. So the first story is a village boy. It's very difficult to explain the story through speech. So maybe I think it's better to go for imagination on this. I think the best way to imagine would be to close your eyes, right? So may I request all of you to close your eyes for the next 3 minutes, right? So just imagine the process. A very, very remote village in Western Ghats. A very, very, very poor boy in a very remote village where 2-time meal was a luxury. Breakfast was actually not there. And his dad was a coolie worker, daily wages job. He didn't have a house, and there was no transportation. There were no roads out there, and no electricity. So transportation almost exists no, and no schools. The only school in that village was an LP school, which is a lower primary school up to 4th standard, and the high school or the upper primary school was 4 kilometers away from this village. And this boy was very poor in studies. He failed his 6th standard, dropped out of school, stopped going to school. One of the teachers felt maybe he could try it as a case study to see if this boy could come out in his life. And this boy went back to school. A second take of 6th standard somehow helped this boy to do well in his studies. He passed out in 10th. He was the topper in the school at that time. And by chance, he ended up in IIT Calicut. And by choice, he ended up in IIM Bangalore. So the story that I want to share here to you is, this happens only in India. This happens in India, where you get things are possible. That's what I'm the summary that I want to share with you. A village boy, in that extreme situation, if he can end up reaching IIM Bangalore, I think people out here can reach anywhere in the world. So that's one part of the village boy story. And these are different stories connected, so you will be able to probably link them towards the end of this discussion. The boy passed out from NIT, and how many of you are from computer science here? Okay, open your eyes, by the way. In computer science, right? Prof. M.N. Neelakandan, late M.N. Neelakandan, right? Okay, so one of the general speech that all of us get is, you guys are not programmers, you guys are software scientists. You should not end up doing programming job, you should become scientist. And the reality was different. When you actually end up going to the market, reality is different. You end up becoming an engineer, right? A programmer. And somehow that didn't, that gave him a lot of, lot of energy and money in his life. He had, this village boy had 3 sisters. The corporate life was good enough for him to build a house for his parents, and arrange weddings for his sisters, but he couldn't pursue his higher studies. And the corporate life somehow did give him stability in his family life. I mean, his family was well off, but his village was not. And that's when the, what you call, energy within him kicked in. And the village boy thought maybe that's the height of it, he should come out of it and do something special. It was very, very difficult decision for this, the corporate employee who was in a white collar job, quit the job and venture into something completely new. He started trials along with his cousins. Okay, but I think there's one part which he missed out in the whole thing. This boy ended up in IIM Bangalore, I think I mentioned that. And IIM Bangalore, they run a course called Venturing Through Entrepreneur Leadership, which is to identify the potential within you, to understand the purpose of your life, right? So he was made to answer, or he was made to ask, write down the purpose of his life, to which he wrote down that his purpose of life is to serve the needy, or he was sent by God to serve the needy wherever is required. And that paper to some great extent changed his life. He quit the corporate IT job and ventured into a fully startup business along with his cousins. And so I'm actually running the third story now, the factory mate. The factory, generally, you don't create a brand out of a homemade food, right? Homemade, you know what I mean by homemade, right? Okay, so homemade, your, say, idly, dosa, right? Your rice, for example, curries. You don't actually, these are all generally homemade item, and you get in packed items as well. But then, what they tried to do differently was to become a professional assistant to the homemaker by creating, by taking over the cumbersome back-end job of preparing homely meal. For example, if you take, idli as an example, right? How many of you know how to make idli, good idli? Okay, so if I have to recap the process, you soak the rice, right? Wash, grind, mix, ferment, right? Then you prepare idli, right? So the corporate people, especially the working couple, it was extremely difficult for them to manage this process during their busy life. And that's when they thought this process could be outsourced and they could create a brand out of it. And it didn't take them too long to create a 1,000 crore brand in the span of last 8 years. So, and that happened over a period of last 8 years. Next one is, the story is being a billionaire versus touching a million life. How long would it take for you to become a billionaire in India? Not smuggling. How long? You don't need max 5 years, I think. That's my experience. You don't need more. You don't need more than that. If you have a powerful vision and if you have a team to work with you, it could happen. The only thing that you need to do is identify the right opportunity and fill the gap. And that's what this team did. As of now, the village boy turned engineer turned entrepreneur, that team touch the lives of almost 1 million people on a daily basis. And they do almost 1 million idli on a daily basis. Was it easy? Are we running out of time? No, time. It doesn't. Was it easy? No. I had to go through a lot of struggles. One of them was the harassment from the tax officers, right? You face that in the life. You don't. Next one is creating a brand out of nothing, where the concept doesn't exist. Was not easy, but then the quality and service of the product somehow stood up and ensured that. But doing business, ethical business in India is not easy. But then at the end of the day, we looked at what's the purpose of life. When you leave this world for the life hereafter, and when you're in your deathbed, we should feel comfortable, we should be happy what we have done, right? And wherever such conflict happened, the team stood up to their faith and ethics and ensured that no compromise has been done along those lines. I'll just give you 2 examples of what this team went through. One, the early stage of this business, there was a demand for a snacks product from Taj Hotels Group. The order was around 50 lakhs worth of products. And when they studied about this, noticed that this product has to be used as a special item in the bar snack, as a bar snack. And as part of their ethics, they said, that is against our ethical principles, we don't want to do it. Had the courage to give away or give up that order. The next one is the difficult time any entrepreneurs team or any business team go through is when you grow, right? You need money. You need money to grow more. And in India, there are no there was no interest-free loan facility available to grow this business. It reached a stage wherein, the company might come to a standstill and might have to close down 1 or 2 branches. The team, again, out there, took a very strong decision that we will never get into interest-based transaction and decided to shut down a branch. Thankfully, within a span of 2 months, a VC, a venture capitalist, funded this company and is back to its normal life. So these 5 short stories, to some extent, make up my presentation here. Just for the clarity of this discussion, this village boy happened to be me, and the team. Can you just move to the next one? And that's what the team does. A group of fresh, ready-to-cook products in 8 cities, and the company is closely valued at around 1,000 crore as of now. The brand is. That took us just 8 years to build it, but it's strong concept, strong in ethics in the heart, and filling the gap. That's what helped us. Thank you.